Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Ash and Piggy here to do the second podcast we've done in person before. It's Watching Walford episode number 66, and today's episode we're going to cover the biggest storylines and pick whereas week 13 of 2024 for the episodes from the 1st of April all the way to the 4th. The main storylines, I guess. But it's weird doing it in person because I just look over. You're like fucking main stories are, and because I didn't take too many notes and we watched it together, it's going to be a bit more of like a looser, but will flow and go forward. The main stories are: Dean steals Jay's charity fund and plans to leave Walford. Yolande and the pastor. Sharon is back. Elaine has the meat thermometer. The floor is crumbling. Jack learns it's Keanu, and he finds a necklace before the body gets discovered, and then all the aftermath of the body getting discovered. So, what are you fucking doing, mate? What are you...
It's for all the people who are deaf and helping them.
It doesn't help by doing fake sign language. Probably more confusing. You fucking melt. But yeah, I suppose before we actually do the normal stuff, I just once again have the precursor to all these podcasts, as in the first half an hour is us shooting the shit, talking about what we've been doing, and then the following however long is talking about the EastEnders. I suppose before we do the normal stuff, I want to do a bit of admin, a bit of house cleaning. Probably gonna be making less Dean jokes as a whole. I think we kind of, usually I'm here to kind of like rein it in and not have it just be a constant joke. But I feel like we have generally gotten our points about Dean across, so we don't really need to be fucking spending 20 minutes every single episode being like, well, I think it's because, I like the character, but not the person. I think we said that about 300 times and we've probably made too many jokes about it. So do apologise if that's upset anybody, but
Yeah. I love her. Grab just like two school children, and like when you say bad word and then your mother catching, grab actually I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap. It was like that, like I love the commenter, like I love the commenter. They're a lovely person and all of that, but I do never want to upset them because they've been our loyalist fan for ages, and it's just like the minute they comment like that, I just went, oh no.
Yeah, it was that like snap back to reality because because Dean's been on the show so long at this point that we're kind of just numb to all the stuff, and we're so used to talking about it, we just go into a general flow. So we'll be reining it in a little bit more, just as a precursor. If it doesn't affect you, fair enough. But yeah, I think that aside, yeah. How you been, mate? How's the week been being here? It's only been 2 days.
It's been good. Oh, yeah, Mike. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the green thing go off.
Right. Says on the screen.
It's been good being here because it's a nice break away from home. So like it's fun, fun hanging out with you, playing 2K24. Actually, like last night, Wednesday night. I was like, actually, I really need to go to the toilet. And okay, the lights downstairs, turn it on. And I thought, I'm looking for a switch. Couldn't find the switch. So I had to go like, look in the window. Oh,
damn.
No, and then I actually couldn't find the light. Oh, you put on the thing. Oh.
Piggy's confused about the concept of light switches. Or just lights in general. Not all of them have a switch. No, been a good week. Actually, been quite a wild one, honestly. Between this and that, I've now changed the curtains. Obviously, those are now some blackout curtains. So each time in the morning where we record, I'm not like fucking hell. Each time I have to adjust the camera. Also, I got some that picture. My dog. I'll take a picture. I'll show the fucking screen. Also, among the setup, I've put up. Well, the camera's there. I put up some like soundproofing. So now, just for Piggy because he is still very loud. That's fine. He's stoned it now. But yeah, fucking done some DIY, man. It's fucking wild. Or like some people like live like each moment as if it's their last. I usually live moment to moment, but this week's been full of shit. Have we even fucking been doing?
I should stop that and we got into Grim's car. And obviously I'm a very lanky, clumsy person.
Keep saying thanks.
I'm just tall. I'm tall and round.
Yeah.
I know. It's just because we used to call me Uncle Lanky all the time, so I'm so used to it. And we were getting into his car. I couldn't figure out the concept of getting out of a car. So I would get out and drift at the last second.
And then he fucking ruined his shoe.
I did. I burst my shoe. I burst my shoe. I went, oh, that's I'll get out of the car. Oh, it's gone. Oh, no.
Yeah, but no, it's been a chill week, really. I think, obviously, the previous one was last November, where we were doing a bit more of a... Yeah, we were doing the big run-up Christmas, so it was a bit more hectic and a bit more like, okay, we start at 11, we finish at 10 at night, and only then can you have a fucking break. This one's obviously been a bit more chill because we've been watching a bit more wrestling, just planning to do less, I guess. Give me the idea of this week.
Yeah, it's fun, it's fun meeting that, and expressing all the rumours that surround the Watching Walford community. I don't know what rumours there is, but
there's none. There's no rumours.
There's no rumours. In my head, I'm like,
Piggy just likes to make shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when sometimes you're like, feel like, all right, everybody, everybody's been talking about this. Yes, I have shit myself. It's like, what? No one fucking, no one thought of that. No one was talking about that. But fucking, it's just, yeah, guys, it's fine. I'll address the elephant in the room. Yes, fuck you. Oh. Actually, on the other end, I finally had a haircut. Finally, after all this time, no longer ridiculously long. It's actually quite short for me, personally. But all right, got a decent job of it. So, hey, do I look more handsome or not? Person who said I look like a pilot. Answers below.
We also released the fanfic, and so far we've heard from the Thursday. Been a great fanfare so far. We said we got more into character this time. I nearly get asked to speak, on the. I'm not going full French kiss on this. That's for the only fan.
Mate, you're not touching the inside of my mouth.
But I fucking basically grant them, but what were you gonna say?
No, carrying on really. The fan fiction, yeah. I feel like, it's the one thing to say. The fan fiction wasn't written by us. We didn't write the fan fiction. It was by Akiko Soap. Give all of the credit to them. We just read the fucking thing. Like, I like people are saying like, oh well, you guys clearly doing well. You're writing this. Like, no, that's not us. All right, I don't want the praise for something I'm not doing. Just like everybody thinks I'm a fucking mad editor. Like, I do small bits occasionally, but like fucking, I'm not like boshing them out each fucking day. That's unreasonable. Just give reasonable credit. Is all I'll say. That's all.
And just give reasonable credit. We don't want to take away from stuff, and I believe parents submissive. I don't know if that's the other person.
No, I think it was just.
Alright, sorry, Aaron. Didn't mean to air out your dirty laundry. So like, it's great fun. I enjoyed doing it more than the last time. Last time I was a bit hesitant. Like, I hope this can turn into a weird fucking Ash and Piggy then graspfully kissed each other, and Ash said, "Oh look at this. You're the only spaghetti I love in my world of bolognese." I don't want that.
What's it even mean?
Don't know.
Well, if it's all bolognese, the spaghetti is the true reason. They add in depth shitty nonsense. Where do we even go? What do we?
Oh, I read some news about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Okay.
Mike Tyson's going to quit smoking, and the other thing he does, I forgot the other. I didn't read all of it.
Weed.
Yeah, he's going to give up weed, and he's basically going to become more arrogant in fighting. Like he's going to at smoke till the fight's over.
Yeah, that's decent.
So he's going to batter Jake Paul, hopefully.
Batter him with fucking tobacco withdrawal. Come here, fucks.
I'll bite your ear off.
I'm gonna smoke you like a smoker blunt.
You reckon he'll win?
James Blunt. Sorry. Probably.
Imagine he doesn't win. I'd vote Jake Paul.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's an exhibition fight, right? So.
Yeah, but if Jake Paul's going to beat him on tight stuff, get him against Floyd Mayweather.
No, yeah, that's not. I mean, theoretically, Tyson should have no fucking issues with Barry. It's just that he's old. But still, he was one of the most prolific boxers of all time. The technique doesn't fucking fade. He's never going to not know how to throw a punch. I don't know, if one of my brothers is pretty interested in it, but I don't fucking care. It'll be interesting.
It's just fun.
Tyson has some of the more fun, like, boxing knockout. Like, the favourite one is where, I don't remember who he's facing, but he walks up, he does a fucking little bob, and then he just like, and the dickhead goes down. And it's like he was just like, oh shit, need time to finish the fight. He's down, he wins, like, oh yep, time to go back home, turn the oven back on, or back off rather.
It's just like I've known boxing. I just find it funny that every year it's like Jake Paul is fighting a semi-retired boxer from Africa, from fucking Italy, from Spain, who's about 60 and hasn't had a boxing fight in the last 20 years. And it's okay. How much are you paying him, Jake? How much are you fucking paying him to get the rub?
I mean, it's sell pay-per-view, honestly. That's not a problem, really. But it'd be fun to see Tyson. Not really a big boxing fight, very big MMA. Like, I don't know. UFC's interesting-ish, but it's not always. Maybe if there was one that was on in like UK time, maybe it'd be more interesting to watch. But I'm not super combat sport heavy.
That fucking pride.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock and Dante.
But yeah, we don't really have. I suppose we also did the Q&A, which will have already come out at this point. I find it funny how every time we do we do a video where we're a bit more open and honest about our plans, everybody's like, "Oh my god, you guys are so transparent. You guys are so cool." It's like we just vanished for like a couple months and then went, "We're doing a Q&A, by the way." Like I said, I feel like you guys are giving us too much credit for just existing, really. Well, me, not Pig. Pig doesn't get as much credit as
I know my place.
But hey.
Where will you all be when I delete this channel on April 1st, 2029?
Oh boy. I don't even really know where to fucking go with this. It's not my usual to just shit talk like behind a fucking microphone. But now it's just we have to both sit here and banter for like 20 more minutes. What do we do? Do you have any interesting fucking inroads? Any dumb little anecdote?
Rolling on Euphoria? No, not Euphoria.
That's a TV show.
Euphoria? Begins with an E, it ends with an A.
Estonia?
Ethiopia. And during the year 2016, the pandemic happened in 2011 for them.
What?
They're in the year 2016. Like their calendar.
Why?
What do you mean?
Why?
Why what?
Why are they in 2016?
Because the calendar is different. So they experienced the pandemic in 2011. And
I wish I had more on that, honestly.
it's interesting.
That's our fucking guess, mate.
I'm trying to think of news that I actually seen. I'm just waiting for the reveals of all the features. Boy, probably. Except for that Kevin Owens. The boys give up that thanks.
I mean, where should we go? I mean, the visit this time it's been a bit more different, really. Obviously, like I said, last time was more about getting the content done. But this one's been a bit more laid back. One thing that was still different is I was still anxious beforehand, but it was mostly just the anticipation of like getting here, where I'd say, oh shit, because the way I work is if there's something I have to do like on a day and I'm particularly anxious about it, the build up is always going to be worse than actually doing it. So like if there's something, like if I have an appointment, fucking let's get that fucking thing out at the start of the day so I can move on and not spend the whole day being like, fucking hell, everything's gonna die. Never that bad, like, of course. But fucking, it's that I want it done as soon as possible, and then I can fucking put it to bed and not have to worry about it.
It's so funny because like I always get anxious when I'm in Astros, and like so like like just this phantom off of train. I fucking glasses on, jacket on, party cap on, walk out of this train station. Wait, I was going at.
And then obviously the two people next to us got fucking frightened because he starts screaming the second he gets off the train. Oh, how's it fucking going? Jesus Christ, fucking just calm down. God damn. How fucking loud do you want to speak? Conversations between two people, not fucking entire theatre. Fucking, even the people in the back would have heard that.
Even the people on the train would have heard it.
Yeah, and they were like fucking 70 miles the other direction.
But it's been a fun visit so far. No, we went for sport. We went to a cafe after I looked at the study Lisacni, Sonia, and it was
Los Angeles.
Lisacni.
Now they describe the lasagna.
And the homemade pizza look.
Yeah.
Then I got a carbon one.
Yeah, fucking carried it all the way home. Like a fucking proud dog owner. Gimme, come here. You've got fucking distance walking, your feet too small. Or legs, not feet. Yeah, fucking dog with tight fucking paws. Massive free front leg.
So they're basically Jordan Gray.
No one's getting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have we done? We got in, we fucking. What do we actually do?
We did not. Just played.
Got in, we recorded a video.
For one more match. We still have a few more to record for one more match.
Do we?
Yeah, we recorded a few East Cup.
Oh, gee. Oh, Jesus.
Bring back Corona, boy. We have a few more ECWs to do. We recorded the first time also. So funny. I just showed up for denim shorts. I showed up for the teacher. And well, he was obviously wearing. And I was up. And it was just fun. It was fun for us. 10 o'clock. And we were both tired. We watched this tape. Went on for, it was 2 hours 4, 5 hours 50.
Yeah, it was rough. It wasn't a good one. Like, everybody kind of laughs at whole wrestling, like, oh, it was better when I grew up, and it's like, yeah, but when you do have the rose-tinted glasses, you do forget that it's not. There is always the shit that you don't want to see and never want to see again, but sometimes you have to.
Like, I just put in perspective. The first match, the cruiserweight match, great match. Second match is like an Extreme Rules match, great match. Third one, Hulk Hogan comes out. What you gonna do, brother? Oh, shit, back his gammy knee. His legs don't work, his arms don't work, his back barely work. And then in the next match, it's like two old fuckers. They're not old, they're in their 50s at the time. And they just batter each other. And
Yeah, it's one of those ones. And then, Wednesday, we recorded the Q&A. Oh, yeah, the first thing we did when we got in was we recorded the fan fiction.
Yeah.
And then the day after, we recorded the Q&A, which is like, has already come out in 2 parts, like 1 hour 30 of answering questions. I want to thank everybody for all the cool little questions, And, of course, in our fashion, we fucking took about 7 years to actually answer them all.
I even answered 3
Like, first question, what would you advise to people doing a YouTube channel? 10 minutes.
Yeah, I went on a rant.
Rein it in.
I don't even know if that meant to cut.
It did. Nothing to cut.
Oh, good. I can't wait for that YouTuber comment. I used to look up to you guys. You're my hero.
Otherwise, yeah, I suppose we opted to not do Who Done It this week because, if the week is supposed to be more laid back, we don't really want to spend half of it fucking just watching shit to review. Like, that bit's not, it is fun, but I think it is easier when you're not in person. You can kind of, there's still some form of distance, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's realizing that I'm not very good at living with anybody who's not my immediate family. Like, it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean we can just do nothing and that's fine? Oh, no, what do you mean? What do you mean there's not other things to do? You can't just do nothing. That's fucking, no one does that. And it's like, fucking, that's the realization. I was like, could chill out, do nothing. But always got a piece to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was interesting when I got here. Like, all Ash does is when the doors open to walk and boom, bang. Yeah.
That Olympic stuff.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think it's been fun though. It's been a bit of a different vibe this time. Like I said, doing less shit, but just I think it's one of those things where it's kind of I've said this about slightly bit when you're slightly more depressed, you kind of enjoy the smaller things than just doing the dumb shit. Like, all right, let's walk in, grill some sausages, and then fucking Piggy's confused at the concept of a knife.
I was confused with the concept of grabber.
Yeah, they can't like tongs to like flip some meat around. Right.
No. I held them at the top, but they told me to hold them at the bottom. I was holding them at the top, and you were telling me to hold them at the bottom.
No, I
You weren't.
No. He was holding it like at the fucking bottom, just like, and I was like, no, I can hold it up higher so you can actually grab. I know, fucking, he making up stories. It's like yesterday we're like, all right, mate, go ahead. You get this package in when it gets delivered, and then second the package comes in, he's like, what? No, I'm not fucking doing the package. I'm like, fucking said you would. Don't know what you're complaining about. We agreed to this.
I just want to show them what's in the package.
Nah, that's private, mate. That's fucking private. No, I call it Captain Morgan Rum. But fucking
okay.
Like blaming me for all the things. Surprised at the concept of tongs.
And thongs.
And in leatherworking terms, that means a completely different thing. But yeah, fucking blaming me. Him not doing things correctly. Fucking look at it. Like, what you mean? I didn't get the fucking tongs wrong. You taught me wrong. All right, mate. Well, one of us knows how to fucking use it, the other doesn't. All right, fucking tong criminal.
See what I've put up with people. What I have to put up. I have to put up with this perfectionist.
It's not perfectionist to be able to use a fucking set of tongs. For fuck's sake. He's fucking, his shoes falling apart. He's fucking.
Yeah, go find a lady tell me pair of shoes and found the other.
Like fucking. God. Stressing me out. Like, alright, time to fucking. Yeah, Piggy, just flip those fucking sausages. Oh, fuck. Does wash stuff up though. That's the learning thing. You do wash stuff up. You do wipe surfaces down. We all have our strength. I've just not found many of Piggy's in it. So. Mine's about not being a good fucking host, but yeah. I think with that though, I don't know. We've hit ourselves at a bit of a lull when we're not like super fucking.
I'm just full of attack.
Yeah, I think we're both eating a food. We're like,
let me
just get through the podcast and then we'll have a fucking.
Then we have to watch WrestleMania.
So yeah, I think like I said, we'll obviously have a bit more of an actual review next week once we like settle back in and back home and back to usual fucking regularly scheduled programming. But I think other than that, I think we just start talking about the EastEnders now. All the people getting a bit. What do you mean? I missed 5 minutes of EastEnders. Just didn't stop talking about it half past sleep. But yeah, so let me recap the main stories for a second. Dean steals Jade's charity fund. Classic Dean. Yolande and the pastor, Mr. Smooth Voice himself. Not so savoury is the pastor. Queen Sharon's return. Elaine and the meat thermometer. And fucking Tyson finally get
Screen time.
Screen time, yeah. The floor is crumbling. Jack covers it up. And finally Keanu being discovered and kind of the aftermath of Keanu getting discovered.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Start with the Dean stuff, really. It's much lesser.
Well, I can probably run through what happened. So like it's Easter, obviously. So it's Easter Monday. It's Easter Sunday, when EastEnders starts, and Harvey's a bit worried about Jay because he's noticing. Excuse me, something up with Dean.
Yeah, like he's being very defensive, and it's like, why would you, if you have something to hide, or if you have nothing to hide, why would you always be on the attack? Kind of deal.
How I describe it is, it's like if I piss the bed and then ask, "Did you piss the bed?" No, I didn't piss the bed. No, I didn't. No, you pissed the bed. You pissed the bed. You're none. And it's like, why are you very defensive there, Piggy? I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah, just what are you trying to hide?
So basically, Harvey just goes, "Hey, look, here you go, £20, for William." So he invites Jade over, and then
to go with Lily, of course.
Yeah, to go with,
fucking.
Yeah, not go with
Give
Harvey.
me some bookings here.
Get the have them. They're on their phones. You know, that's how new generations are. How's it going, pal? Yeah, you going good? Yeah.
I think it's also just TikTok? Because obviously
they've nothing in common.
You know, it's vibing, not that comfortable. May as well stick on your phone.
Well, I got a pair of new lungs off a dead person. You got a child, so how's things going, love?
Yeah, classic. A lot in common. But yeah, obviously Harvey's a bit more taken to Jean's side because, you know, like why would there be any reason to suggest that Jean tried to hurt Jade? And so Harvey kind of goes like, look, you know, sorry about Jean, you know, she doesn't think she did any wrong, but, you know, she wouldn't mean to hurt you or anything. And Jade's pretty like, it's fine, anyways. But because Harvey starts to kind of pry, Dean decides to fucking essentially go, wow.
You're a pedo.
He lured my daughter into his house, the nuns. In not those words.
In those words, but not in those words.
Yeah.
In the context of that.
Yeah, exactly.
He basically, the quote at OSW, basically calls him a dirty old fecker, and basically he's a pervert. It's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they're like, he fights young girls in you. We don't know what he's doing in the house. Oh no, what's he doing? And then pretty much Harvey, Billy, and Bonnie are like,
Dean, take that down.
Yeah,
take that down, you fucking prick. Nobody thinks that of Harvey. Why would you be saying that? And obviously, he thinks about it. He ends up doing it. He then starts to kind of go, maybe it'd be interesting if I went to Pakistan with Jade and Shabnam. You know, it wouldn't like be living with them. Would just be fucking just live close by. Observe. Fucking room. Hello.
You're not giving her the right medication. Hello.
Sounds like a Dean thing to do. He'd get a telescope and start peeping. But fucking yeah, where it's interesting though, and where it starts to kind of pick up is obviously Dean does take the post down. He then kind of goes, "Look, Cindy, buy me out of Beale's Eels. I need the money." And then Ian and Cindy's like, "No, we don't have the money." And then Ian's like,
£10,000. There you go, cash in hand. Fucking see you later.
Best deal, 10 grand. It's like he invested like 50 in that. The fucking rat.
That's if I was in charge, if we ever made money and I was in charge of the businesses, that's how it would work. You didn't pay £1,000 or Piggy, yeah. How come I only got 5,000? Or 2,000? Yeah, I don't know, pal. Don't know.
But yeah, it's fucking. Also, will say if there is some fucking drilling heard on the microphone, it's just next door. Don't worry. But yeah, so it keeps going though, and Dean starts to be like, you know what, Jade, would it be so bad if we went and stayed over there? And then she's like, yeah, but where'd you get the money from? And where he got the money from is he obviously fucking stole it from the charity fund. It's like if there was ever a fucking, Dean is a magnet for making the worst possible decisions possible. Like, every single time he has the opportunity to do something good, he just goes, way. So it's like, oh, Dean, just work harder and earn some money. How about we steal a fucking charity fund? Sound. Like, what? How is he such a prick?
You know what it reminds me of?
How is he such a cockroach? It's unreasonable.
You know, like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, but the villains are like so campy, you just laugh at them. He reminds me of like a campy villain from like Scooby-Doo in the 60s. Like, I don't know why. He's just like, oh, I've stolen all the money from a charity fund, Scooby. What are you gonna do? I would have got away with 2-1 for you meddling kids and your dastardly dog. Like, I don't know why. He just reminds me of the Scooby-Doo villain.
I mean, I guess you could say he is. I wouldn't say comically evil, but he is.
No, it's just the way he goes about his crime. Where it's like, excluding the obvious one, but like where he's going about his crimes, like he's stealing from a charity fund, he's calling Harvey and on, he's screaming either like an internet troll or he's a fucking modern Scooby-Doo villain.
But I mean, in terms of like actual evil characters, I don't think there's anything that actually makes Dean redeemable at this point. Like, fucking. We've said that like it's interesting because he has a length he won't go, like he will go to that others won't. But like I said, every single fucking choice he has, he makes the fucking worst possible one. And why has he stolen the charity fund? Well, he then offers to Jade like, oh, we'll go. Hey, look, just before you go, we'll go to New York and we'll stay there. But what he doesn't tell Jade is he wants it to be permanent. And he's just gonna basically kidnap her and take her to the fucking state.
I'm assuming he won't get away with it. Like, there has to be.
I don't think so. I don't think. It's relocating is not that fucking simple. You gotta have fucking months worth of like paperwork, and you have to get a visa, and you have to have a good reason to fucking migrate as well. Like you have to have. It's kind of one of those things where you usually have to have a job like set ready for you, so you have the security, so you're not going to leave in like 3 months.
It's the kind of thing where like if I wanted to move to England, I can because I'm in Ireland. I can just move. But like America claims to be the land of the free, and like they always complain about immigrants coming into the country. Jesus Christ, like
it's very hard.
It's very hard because you have to get a visa. You have to either enter a lottery, like a draft lottery.
Yeah.
Get a visa. You have to have a job. You can only stay for about a year or 2 years. You have to go back to your country, your own country. Then you have to come back in a month's time. Then go back, come back, come back, and back and forth for about 6 months. And then you finally get your visa like 2 years or 3 years. About 5 years later, and then you become an American citizen.
And then by that time, you fucking moved on. You don't want to go to America anyways. No, but I'd say that. Yeah, right. But just to generally continue this line of thinking, it's quite impressive to just see that every single possible time, because I suppose the instance with Dean is he has the option of being good, but every single time he picks the worst possible option for him and the most selfish option possible, and it's like, how are you just so irredeemable? Like, I don't understand. Like, maybe it's like it's desperation, right? It's I don't want to be alone again. But I don't know. I think that by the time he tries to leave, I do think that Harvey will probably find something out about the tablet, and or Jade will notice and be like, "Yo, I don't want to move to New York with you for good. Like, what kind of a life are we gonna get if that's like what we're working with here?" And I can definitely see. I can definitely see the fucking. I just imagine that's probably where it's gonna go. I can't lie. Sorry. But yeah, I really don't think that. I just can't imagine we see, like, sorry. Yeah, it's true. Where is the angle for this? I don't understand. What are you doing? Fucking, you get in. Fucking peeping around. And poked his head through the door. But yeah, I was just saying, how do you think that this stuff with Dean kind of like goes? Do you reckon like Harvey stops him, or do you reckon Jade realizes before?
Someone has to what he's up to, because I understand in the show, and it says so like Jesus don't exist in that universe, and unless they want to exist, but you physically cannot just snip over to the stage. Like I heard, like before you even enter the country, they literally go to you and they're like, "What are you doing in America?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, huh?"
Yeah, they just really don't want to take any risks.
Anyway.
Yeah, how do you reckon this storyline continues though?
I don't know. Every time I think it's coming to an end, Chris Clench just ooh.
Yeah, that is true. Each time you think that, like, oh, finally, Dean's gonna get his comeuppance. Finally, people have suggested that since he was seen like around the cafe when Bernie and Alfie were like walking through, maybe people are hoping that he gets like framed for Keanu's murder. Because, him and Keanu did have some problems. They had some very, like, open and, like, public arguments. And between him and Nish, those are the only two people I can really see who they would frame, because they are the big enemy. I guess in some slightly tragic circumstances, if Jack wasn't back in good terms with Denise and with Stacy, I could imagine them setting Jack up, and then obviously after about a year he gets out and goes, "What the fuck, lads?" But it's I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, it's definitely not as jokey about Dean this time. So I hope it's been noted, and definitely has been reined in. But
you know what I do want to see? I want to see like a Scooby Doo. They all run through a corridor, and then he runs in front of the door, and then he comes out the other door and chases after them. I just want to see that.
All right. Other Scooby Doo jokes are available. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next bit, going from one fucking pest to another, as we get more development with Yolande and Pasta. So far, up until the Pasta. I'd say Pasta. Everybody, we all know what I mean. No one's thinking that Pasta Clayton's like a bit of fucking linguine or whatever, like put a tagliatelle on there, like a pasta. But yeah, the Pasta who is been close with Yolande, and we get to generally see where they're at. They've had this sort of budding like friendship and some slight chemistry that other people around the church have been picking up on, which has kind of resulted in a bit of an uncomfortable situation for Yolande, because he's a man of God. Why would he wouldn't be doing anything like untoward. Maybe he's just a bit friendly. He's friendly with everyone. And when she suggests, why don't we make like a mobile soup kitchen so we can feed the homeless and remotely, and be able to move it around, he gives her a hug, and then he gets a bit handsy within the hug, which is very uncomfortable. I'll tell you that. It's
he basically hugs her, puts his hand around her back, slowly
reaches down.
He reaches down.
And I suppose it's a good. I think it's a good story to tell about someone slightly older with someone in I'd say a position of power. The pastor is kind of I am like a leader or follower or like a
follower of God.
Yeah, but has that power in that dynamic, right? Yolande's just one of the churchgoers. The pastor, obviously, it's his stuff. So, him, a man with a position of power. It's like there was a theory. I think it was in English language where we talked about the theory where essentially it's about how in every dynamic there's a power balance. It's why, you're not supposed to sleep with your boss because, well, fucking, you sleep with your boss, he's got all the power over you. That's not like a balanced relationship, not a balanced power dynamic. It's similar in this instance because Yolande is just trying to do good for the church, and the pastor is, like I said, man of God, someone who kind of takes all these sessions and like just leads them. So, and that starts to show as well because after he's invited in by Denzel, and it ends up with them being sat on the sofa, and he squeezes her thigh, or it could have just been the knee, but regardless of what it was, it still made Yolande feel pretty uncomfortable with it, and she called him out on it, like, I feel uncomfortable with this, and not like a good Christian, he went, "How fucking dare you suggest I did anything untoward? That's so out of character." I may have been using the term a lot lately, but it is kind of, I guess it could be counted as gaslighting in a way, where it's like, it's your fault that this happened. It's like, you put your hand on my fucking leg.
Now, if this divulges into something religious, I'm sorry, but it's basically he's a man of God, so you'd assume, like most pastors or priests, a man of God does not assault women or men or children or whatever, and he's basically a man of God. So you wouldn't expect your pastor to be like, "How's it going, pal?" Like that.
Unless the Catholic. There we are. Someone had to make the joke.
I was going to make a joke there for a few minutes later.
It's alright. It's me. I made it.
I just want to see the Catholic job that the pastor's been portrayed as an evil.
I mean, you are Irish, so I feel like it's right.
But he's the man of God. You don't expect this from him.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a man of good virtue, right? A good, like, a leader, like people lead by example, and that's not how you do it. And we kind of joked about it at the time, but it still doesn't feel right when he just went, "What? Your fault?" It's like, fucking hell, come on.
How would you describe it? Imagine you're in school.
I think I'd describe it as sexual harassment.
Yeah, imagine you're in school and then your teacher, who you expect to be friendly, starts going, "How's it going, pal?"
Sorry?
You're my teacher.
Yeah, this isn't supposed to fucking happen.
It's basically that, but with the pastor, basically. And then his wife.
Well, I suppose just to add the extra context is he then talks to her and he kind of goes, look, I don't think you should be leading this project anymore. And he gives it to his wife, who obviously is a bit more condescending to Yolande and takes control of something that should be her, like Yolande's project, and just kind of goes, yeah, we don't need you. And then he tries to, like I said, similar to how Dean just went, why would you be hurting Jade? The pastor just kind of goes like, I don't think we should be in the same room together, You make me uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, it's not, I mean, EastEnders is 2 for 2 for pastors having a fairly dodgy, because obviously Lucas was a man of God, and the 2 for 2 for a very religious character, and he's not the most savoury of characters, I'll say that much.
It's like how everyone in my school had a lecturer that was a pedophile teacher.
I mean, I feel like that happens in every school. Really.
I'm not going to say the teacher's name, but it was like an old teacher.
It's always just the old teacher who everybody's like, oh, he's a weirdo. Like, he's not, just being friendly.
Yeah,
but I mean, to be fair, the school that it was before I went to the school, but the school I went to did genuinely have a teacher who was a nonce, and he was the captain of the cheerleading team, which is like, well, that's fucking grand, isn't it?
Well,
yep.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
He took any hold as a goal.
He was very much a disgraced teacher by the end, and does not have his job anymore. So.
Probably he should drop down in Cork somewhere in Ireland.
So what do you think about this development with Yolande and the pastor, though?
See, on that scene where where I take things seriously because his tone gets very aggressive. The pastor gets very aggressive. Like, hey,
It's a different type of aggro, isn't it?
yeah,
Where some people like speak and they shout and they raise the voice and that makes you scared. But the pastor does it with his words, where he's got this very smooth voice. But the words he can say can be very fucking like degrading and upsetting. It's really interesting because from all the appearance, he dresses all nice. He has the smooth voice. He's a man of God, so he's got a good like reputation, helps the community. So it's definitely interesting to see the differences, right? Because he has harassed Yolande, made some unwanted advances on her, and she's perfectly justified in being like, "What the fuck, man?" And then no, it's good though. I'm glad that Yolande's getting some stuff to do. Because obviously Patrick's in and out, so he's never usually gets some big storyline. He usually just comes in, does a bit, and then fucks off again. He's getting up there, and he's earned the right for sure.
It's interesting because like Patrick obviously was a one-note character until Yolanda came back. Let's be honest, and they give him storylines, and he's actually good. But he just fucked up. But I wonder will he get the priest? I want to keep saying priest. I know he's a pastor, but I just want to call him a priest. I wonder will he just get him? Like he comes in and just boshes him, and right hook. Or do you know like in them campy films, he puts down his fedora and he goes, "What's in the fedora? What do you mean?" Boom.
And it's like it's like he pulls it out, and it's like the Joker's like punch gun, where it's like boom, and just fist comes raining out from like halfway across.
I don't know why he just imagines him holding his little fedora and it's, you know what's in this hat? What? Punch. That's not what. Just a campy villain. He's just a campy superhero.
But and unfortunately, I would love to say this is all a build up to the pastor getting smacked, but unfortunately, even Eddie didn't manage to avoid getting smacked. So I'm just like Dean did, Eddie didn't. So it's not. Maybe violence isn't the answer. But I do hope that Yolande gets the right kind of. Like I said, it's an important story to tell, especially with like an older group of people, because like if this does go into Yolande being like making a public like, hey, he made unwanted advances on me, like will she be trusted in any way? And that's the kind of miserable part on it. But like I said, it was a shock storyline that I don't think anybody expected, but I think they've done a good job of it so far. I wonder how much more this pastor's gonna do.
Probably going to stick around for a while and not get him up for a while like Dean, and then if I feel like his wife, if that is his wife, and not a paid actress, a paid actress playing a show, then like her wife is just a total bitch. I love her. She's
very condescending.
Yeah.
Very patronising to Yolande.
Yolande, that's old school. I'll show you the modern way, bitch.
But yeah, it's some good stuff. So if you don't like the slightly smaller stories, I think it also does kind of help that Yolande's also struggling with Denzel, who's obviously like doing his steroids, and so like she's not exactly got a very good she's not got a good outlet, right? Because like, oh, I'll just go do the stuff at the church. Oh fuck,
what
don't want to go to the church anymore.
What would your reaction be if you recreated the 2018 Christmas end? Where they push the pastor down the stairs and take his head off on a stuffed dog.
Oh, why would they do that?
Like Denzel in a fit of ride rage. Like I'm just imagining when Denzel, like the pastor goes, assault on Hande again, then fucking Denzel comes in, a bit of Timmy to Jimmy, like suplex him through the window. That's what I want.
I don't want any of that personally.
Timmy to Jimmy.
I want Yolande to be kept safe and fucking. She does have a fucking slap on though. So I hope that I don't hope she needs to use it. If she does, I hope she brings that one back out. She actually knocks that fucker into next week. There we are. That's all the Yolande and the plaster stuff. Obviously, we'll see how it develops. But let's kind of move towards the Six stuff. Six is now back in front and in the pole position, as Sharon is finally back. It feels like she's been touted to be back every week for the last 2 months. But no, she is finally back, and of course it's on April Fool's Day, right?
Just want me to run through what happened? So we start off the morning, the Monday morning, or the Sunday morning, sorry, where Linda is eating her daughter's chocolate egg, and Elaine calls her out and she's like, "What you do?" She's like, "I could have." She said, "Have it." Just want to find out. Like,
said I could have some, and then she's eating eating the whole Easter egg.
It's like when Ash goes to me, "You have some of my Easter egg." Thanks, had the whole lot. And then we also see Tyson for the first time. And then someone's banging at the door. It's a Keanu act.
It is not Keanu.
It is indeed Sharon Watt. Big, bad, booty woman comes in.
Also, Sharon's looking fantastic, by the way. Like, I didn't realize how small Sharon was, but she now looks fucking tiny. It's absurd. But like, well done to her for losing all the weight that I assume she's happy with. So,
and then
Queen Sharon's back.
And then is it Gilby? Kind of Discord.
Yeah, Gilby P.
Gilby P. Was somewhere on top of somewhere in his flat house, somewhere just excited. I could hear him scream from Ireland, but excited, so happy that she's back, and she has talked. How's everything been? I'm sorry I have to be in there. And then it's like, I lost the weapon. And Sharon's like,
what the fuck?
And Johnny knows.
What the fuck?
And then she's like,
and then he should have breakdown. Oh, it was all of the fucking aftermath.
I also clogged your toilet, Sharon. Wait, what? You did what? That's the worst thing. You clogged my toilet.
But fucking. Yeah, and it continues, though, as they call the meeting. Sharon's back. They explain it all, and they go, all right, we need to find the weapon, and, whoever finds it, just, place it here, we'll get rid of it. And so they all just generally look for the weapon and try to find it. And they do, because Elaine found it under Linda's bed and has made a really big Easter roast dinner with the 40 flaming quid that piece of lamb there was. And obviously Linda, the first time she sees it. Also, I will say, I don't know if I'm just living in the past, but they call it a meat thermometer. Why can't they just call it a fucking carving knife? Because that's what it is. Like, it's the knife that you use to carve the fucking meat off the fucking.
Is meat thermometer the old word or the new word?
No. I think it's because of the. If I'm using a carving knife, I just use a carving knife. If I want a meat thermometer, I'll use a meat thermometer. But this seems to be both a carving knife with a meat thermometer as well.
Just call it a meat carving knife.
Just call it a carving knife.
A carving knife with a thermometer.
But I guess you don't want to say, oh, he was stabbed with a knife. It makes you feel a bit more criminal like that. But
and then
I was so confused. I was like, what? That's not a fucking meat thermometer.
And then basically Linda has a freak out, drops the lamb, and
pushes the lamb off the table.
And who comes running in? Playing My Hero by Foo Fighters. Good old Tyson. He does the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2. Fuck it.
Do not get that.
And then they fucking
out.
does
do
that.
Not get that fucking.
Does that? Takes off his fur. He's the man in this dog. Takes off his fur. He eats all the lamb.
I will say the best fucking. It was a really campy ending to the episode because obviously Linda freaks out. Johnny's like, it's fine, she's just didn't get much sleep, and Elaine's fuming because 40 flaming quid that lamb. And then you just see Tyson just fucking waltzing in there, steal a massive bit of lamb and fuck off. And that's all Tyson's done all year, honestly. I feel like they forgot he existed for a while.
Then we get a lovely camera shot. so we go from the Queen Vic,
outside the barrel store,
and then
through the alleyway, across the street, and into the cafe. As we see some really strange CGI. As we're in the cafe, we're looking at the floor on the concrete fucking crack.
Wait, was it
And
CGI?
I don't know. Whatever it was, it looked very strange. I only say that because my brother was like, that fucking shit. Yeah, it didn't look the best. Like, it was funny in a campy way, but like,
I mean,
I don't know. It was, I guess you can't just fucking put a bit of concrete and break it. So, I don't know. Like, it did look a bit campy, but it is like the perfect EastEnders camp.
it's the fact they're not a big studio, but it's the BBC. I know they're a massive studio, but the BBC are not forking out a fucking whole thing
Yeah,
for
but
them.
have you seen the special effects they've been putting in Doctor Who? They got that Disney Plus money, baby. I guess that is the difference.
Yeah, EastEnders looking at Disney Plus next year. April Fool's, and basically, so we wake up the next day. We're back.
I suppose just to finally also say, everybody's like, all right, safe, we're good. All right, we're good, we're safe, it's perfectly fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen. And then the floor cracks. And it's like, well, it's all gone to shit.
It's like that JFK thing from the Clone High, where it's like, nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys, and his car flips over.
Down.
So it's just like, nothing bad ever happens to this kid.
But yeah, so the floor is crumbling, and this, it makes word, they have to take up the flooring, but he's like, fucking hell. Bernie lets it slip that the floor's crumbled, and everybody's like, fucking hell, fucking stinks in there, goddamn. The smell of Keanu's been kind of muffled by the concrete. And this sets everybody off because they're not ready to deal with it, and it's a big stressful time for everyone. And where the main kind of hit comes from is, first they need to figure out how to get rid of the meat thermometer, because it's still a fucking crime weapon, still like a weapon that was used to murder someone. And they also need to, Stacey and Denise have kind of become friends out of this, and it's very strange. Maybe not friends as such, but they do actually have some form of trust. Like, Stacey's done enough for Denise for Denise to feel like, you know what, you are actually a good friend. You do actually try to look out for.
Wait, can we do what I imagine they did? Come on, give me a high five. They do that. Yeah! They do that. That's what I imagine they do.
But where it kind of wraps up is, obviously, now that the floor's crumbled, Denise is fucking shitting her pants because her necklace is still down there. So they go to break in to the cafe, well, with Bernie's keys, and proceed to, with the only tools they could find, a sledgehammer and a crowbar, which, as someone who has had to pickaxe a little bit before, you get the sledgehammer's not cut, and it's not gonna be quiet either. And so they go to do it, but who witnessed them skulking into the cafe? It's Jack. And Jack went to talk to Denise earlier, it's okay, I started the ball roll on the divorce, is that fine? And she kind of went, fuck off, can't deal with this right now. And so Jack is now discovering Stacey and Denise both looking very shifty and looking to cover up something on, in the cafe. And he kind of goes I'm not stupid, I know what death smells like. And so they finally go through it, and they finally tell Jack, look, it's Keanu. We were involved, unfortunately. So Jack has a choice. And it's a choice that I feel like you I feel like you could vary it on the day whether Jack could choose his job or his wife. But this time Jack does genuinely choose Denise, say, look, I still love you. I hate that you had to go through this alone, but don't worry, I'll fix this. Because, they aren't criminals. They've not done any of this before. They didn't come with any, safety gear, and they didn't really, they didn't think it through. Because why would they? They haven't done anything like that before. So Jack just goes, look, leave me to it. I'll get the necklace, and it'll be fine. So he does, he gets the gloves on, he slowly breaks apart the crumble, and he does get the necklace for Denise, which, does completely destroy any suspicion for Denise, and that's really cool. But the main issue is, because there was a crack in the floor and they need to take the floor up anyways, Bernie was given the night off. And so she was plastered in the Albert with Felix. And where it gets better is because, look, it's the best acting Bernie's been allowed to do since Christmas. So she's drunkenly stumbling. She sees Albie. Sees Alfie like, Alfie, oh, guys, it's fucking Alfie. He's seen. She's drunk as a fucking absolutely racket. Just fucking destroyed. And she's like, oh, I want some chips. Gonna get some chips. And then she goes, oh yeah, but I'm skinned though. I need the money. I'll just go into the cafe and I'll make some chips myself. And Jack does escape in time, but the main issue is she obviously goes in and she sees a body. And the duff, I'm pretty sure, is Bernie screaming.
It's not. We see
yeah,
we see her scream, and then it turns into one of the kids screaming, and then we do.
It cuts between shots of the sick who are all quite peaceful, like, oh, it's finally over. Thank God, it's over. And obviously, little do they know that the body's been discovered.
And Jack basically comes back on the Wednesday. I believe I've done all that, and he says, "Put this on to Stacey. You cannot be seen together." And then basically they all quite like, "What happened?
What happened, guys?
What happened?" And then Bernie says, "You found a body in the cafe," and they're like, "Oh no! How?"
Yeah,
how?
so they all have to play innocent, and they all have to play like, oh shit, body. Sharon has to play the doting wife, and partner rather, they actually get married because Keanu was the shitter as married. But yeah, the Thursday episode is the aftermath of Keanu getting discovered. Who knows?
Keanu getting discovered, and basically they sit Bernie down, and Bernie, his brother's been found. He died some time ago. Sorry for your loss. They go to Sharon, and Sharon, Keanu said, "Oh, what? Oh, I didn't know. I did. Wow."
Like that guy where they go to the burger place. Like, did you know they were actually selling cocaine under the burger? What? No way. Didn't know that. Why did you take the interview? Why did you take the interview?
That's basically
what?
Fuck.
No.
Keanu's been found.
No way.
And they basically go, "Oh, I have to do Kathy." Because Kathy comes in and has a conversation with Ross. And she's like, "Okay, go talk to Barney." And then she comes in to Barney and says, "Hey, I'm your big sis. I've always been there for you, Barney. You remember that time I was there for you? Remember when you needed 20 quid? I get 20 quid. Don't remember that? I remember that. Still owe me that 20 quid. I'm here for you. Don't tell your mother. Please don't tell your mother. I'm with you. I'm with you. We're big sisters. Yeah."
Yeah.
And like she cries on Sharon's shoulder, and then Sharon leaves, and she do not
I will
tell your
say
mother.
though, Bernie fucking knocked us out of the park. Honestly, she was phenomenal in these scenes. Like, I don't care for Bernie whatsoever, but I felt really bad because that's all she had left on the square other than Felix. That's the only family member left she has. And as much as Keanu may have been a wrong un in the end, and he may have got himself into a corner, he wasn't inherently an evil guy. He was just kind of in a bad way, desperate. And, like, just look, with scenes like this, you can understand why Bernie's kept around, because the actor's phenomenal when she has to be. And yeah, no, she did a great job at just being fucking traumatized by things. Like, if anybody wonders why Bernie's still around, this is why.
And basically, this voice note for Keanu, "I'll see you tonight. I don't understand Sharon." And then Bernie sits there, I stare at a Smarties cake, and I sit there and I go, "What's doing together?" They put the Smarties into the cake. holy shit, how did they do that? Like, my mother is right. Sharon has something to do with it.
Yeah, it's essentially angling that he was very sure that he was going to leave. So now he's dead. Like, there's no reason to suggest that it was like an accident, right? It's like, yeah, I'll be with Albie, and then just go, oh, if he's trying to take Albie, he's trying to take Albie away from Sharon, Was she have something to do with it? And this is the overriding feeling of the episode, as we also get a bunch of the six all just trying to figure out what to do and what's the next approach, and they ultimately just kind of they reassess that shit's fucked. Ultimately, shit is fucked. We've fucked up here. We've done it bad, and we probably should have been a bit smarter about it. But we did the best we can. But in the end, Bernie Felix kind of goes, look, tell the police about this voice note, and they go ahead and arrest Sharon. And Sharon has now been arrested for Keanu's murder, which is not the outcome the six really expected. What do you think about all this stuff?
I've seen me laughing because Bernie's gonna take down this six.
Yeah.
Bernie is the elite hunter. She's the Frankie Kazarian of the hunter. Where she's a shit character, but she's gonna try and take down the elite of the elite. The biggest characters of the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Given this big storyline.
I mean, remember that Reddit post where someone suggested that Bernie was actually kind of being a double agent the whole time and secretly collecting information about Keanu? Obviously, it's not how it's played out necessarily, but I'd say it's still been interesting, and I will just say I appreciate all the actors doing a really good job this week. As Keanu being discovered, it is tragic, and it is a very hard thing to get through. So I think they've done a really good job of it this week.
It's exciting because how they're going to convince Bernie that Sharon did not do it. But we will have to see where it goes. That's pretty much the week of EastEnders. What do you think?
It was a good week. I think just due to the general fatigue of doing this, I probably didn't enjoy it as much as I would have. But it was still it was still a very good week. And obviously, it's always exciting when the sick stuff is revealed. Remember when we made a video saying, guys, you're all fucking idiots. Keanu's not going to be discovered for another year and a half. Fucking shut up. And I think we just got rid of that video once again. I just didn't want to sound like a prick. So, yeah, what do you think about it? Sound. Give it a cheeky pause.
What did I think of the week? I loved the week. It was a fun week. EastEnders. Seeing both Sharon being like, "What, Bernie? He's been killed. Who would do such a thing? Holy! Did they use a meat thermometer? Wait, what did you say about a meat thermometer?
Yeah.
And then also the pastor going, "What? I didn't touch your behind. I think you're delusional. I would never. Me? It must be the other guy."
Yeah, and it's like, you fucking prick.
I just
you fucking prick.
I know it's not. I know. Like, people probably don't like characters like that. But I always find the more weird, out there, delusional, not anti-heroes, but villains kind of nice.
I mean, there's always you can always get some enjoyment out of a villain. It's like, I don't know, a soap character I always generally love is a character who is slightly unhinged in a way, like Kim Butterfield from Hollyoaks, Sienna from Hollyoaks. You had Mad May, who was the Doctor, who stole Dawn's baby. Like, the characters, Stalker, Sarah Kent, who's a very favorite of mine. Just the characters who go to extremes that not sane people usually wouldn't. Obviously, but I don't. We but yeah, it's interesting to see how villains work.
Yeah.
Because Dean fucking chooses every single bad option possible, which it's quite impressive. to be that much of a prick. And the pastor, like, does he apologize? Does he say, like, my bad, got too friendly, my fault, all right, I'll never do it again? He just goes, wow, how dare you suggest I did anything like that? It's like, fucking hell. But yeah, I think there was a lot of really good stuff this week, and like, I'd give it all the credit that it generally earned. I think they did a pretty fantastic job, and I appreciate what they pulled off. Nice to see the sick stuff progress, and it is also nice to kind of keep the train going. Because we have been enjoying the sick, but it's always nice when the six gradually gets to move on a little bit further because we slowly get more. Because when people were like worried about the start of this storyline, saying like, this storyline, it might be a bit like there's not actually much danger. Well, I feel like EastEnders has done a really good job of making sure that you are genuinely scared for the six and like how much damage it could actually do to them. So yeah, no, I think that it was a really good week. I think it's now time we do the award.
Yeah.
Start with underrated.
The past.
Interesting character. I'll still say Jade. I still really like Jade. I think she's really likable.
Actually, sorry, Harvey. I know my Harvey.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, Harvey, because I just love where he's like, Harvey Dean's a pure pedo, and he's like, well, sorry, he's a pervert, and he's just like, no, fuck you, man. No, I'm not. Take that down, you bother.
Yeah, exactly.
And Chelsea's even like, that. You're messing with
Yeah,
the wrong
we did
guy.
miss Chelsea was like, fucking sort your life out, Dean. Man. What
You
the
loser.
fuck's wrong with you?
Get a life.
Remember when you actually had like stuff you wanted? Remember when you were a dreamer, and now you're pathetic, which was like, I'm sure a lot of people were like, fucking finally someone. And like a well-deserved fucking baller kid. So yeah, Jade and Harvey. The Keanu Taylor Award of Excellence.
Has got Keanu.
He was uncovered. The most wooden. I think I'm just gonna say Sharon, not because I believe it to be true, but because obviously when you have to act like something, no matter how you act, is probably not going to be the most convincing. So like in a usual way where she'd be like crying her eyes out, like, oh no, oh bloody hell, I loved him. She is still slightly like static in the way she's doing it because she's having to like think it through rather than just being emotional. So, but I love Sharon. Queen Sharon's back. Let's fucking go. And fight. Yeah, who needs slapping down?
Pastor.
Yes. Or Dean. I'm gonna go for Dean. You go.
I'm a new love interest.
Like I said, let's don't let Sex Pest get away with it. And I'm glad that Yolande stood up to the pastor.
Or let them dye their hair blonde and then come back to YouTube about 5 years later. Like, I changed, and then 2 years later come up with an accusation that haven't changed. And then they get cancelled again. Until it happens again in another 5 years. So, don't let Sex Pest get away with it. Unless they dye their hair blonde. The pastor has no hair.
But yeah, no, solid. That's episode 66 of the Watching Walford podcast. I hope it was, it was a bit weird at the start, but as always, whenever we get to talk about the weekly EastEnders, generally get into it and it flows properly. So, hope everybody enjoyed it, and I hope everybody looks forward to the next week. We do have some interesting videos coming out. One of my favorite ones that I did lately is a video where there was a good article on Metro where they talked about the most complained about soap moments of all time. And I just got to go through some of the more controversial ones and kind of gauge how, like, whether it was particularly reasonable or not. Like for example, there was and this isn't a point about what the fucking subject is, but it's more so about the timing. One of the more complained about things in EastEnders, other than the famous fucking baby swap storyline, was Karen Taylor's anti-vax rant, which was coming off the back of out of the pandemic, out of the lockdowns and in like 2020, 2021. And, if there's any time to not do one after everybody's been stuck inside and miserable, it was at that time, which, and I just generally gave everything a stamp of like, well, is that reasonable? Is that just people being a bit silly? And for the most part, it was people being quite reasonable. So
I find an anti-vaxxer funny because 9 times out of 10 they're just putting something much worse into their body. So it's just like, oh, I don't believe in the vaccine. Oh, you have some heroin. Like, you're fucking stupid. Like, I understand you can have your opinion, but
yeah, I mean that's not disregard people's right to opinions. There are reasons for and against whatever you decide you believe in. That's perfectly fine. It's not a time to fucking call people silly for what they believe. We all have different experiences. We all have possible different reasons for believing in certain things. So, we don't need to fucking fight everyone. We can all just agree to disagree. We have differing opinions. There we are. That's the old. That's me reining it all in. Look at me. I'm being sensible again. I was in my rock star phase for a hot period. Now I'm back. But there we are. No, that's episode 66 of Watching Walford. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this podcast in person, as is all the other content that's going to be being released around this time. Well, most of it, that is. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support us, there's a bunch of links in the description for where you can support us, like financially, or join the Discord, or go to a wrestling channel where you want a slightly less sensible me and a bit more of a fucking wild card there. But there we are. Thank you for watching Walford. Make sure to join us in the next episode. See you then. Bye-bye.